Hello, what's your name?
My name is Vic.
Okay, the first question I'm gonna ask you is, how did Van Stone and Philly Funk Radio contribute to your life?
Um, I actually met him while he was on his grind. A heck of a hustler he is, and he just happened to walk through the block, saw a couple of our front lawns, and he just started knocking on the doors. And ever since then, all I get is good vibes, man. And assists when he can. Pretty decent guy.
Okay, are you involved with Reading Captains and Philly Funk Radio or no?
No, at the time, I'm missing a foot, by the way, man. And I didn't have I didn't have a prosthetic at the time, so which was the last year that we've met. And I told him I wasn't really ready for that type of thing. So now he's just filling me in on. So I'm at the beginning stage, such as everybody else that's going to be on board that he was telling me about.
Okay, so he told you about Reading Captains. How do you feel about the impact of Reading Captains and your perspective as a outsider?
I mean, it's what a lot of neighborhoods need. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of things that it's a lot of things that he's doing and still trying to do that has been taken out of the community to keep some of these young boys busy. You know, like it's some other things that I told him I'm involved in too right now. Just talking to some young boys, they at risk, but they not the wild ones. Just them having a place to stay, and me mentioning that, he jumped right on it. You know what I mean? He stay on. He's like, yeah, so all right, bang. It's just a great network he creates.
Okay, what's the things you do in the community, especially knowing that you have a prosthetic and you said that you are like involved in the community, not with reading captains, but with other things.
Yeah, no, well, prior to me, Louis, well, it's going on, it's been about 18, 19 months. But prior to that, I man, I just used to go up to schools, you know what I mean? Just talk to the young boys, give them my experiences, you know what I mean? And tell them we do have choices, you know what I mean? Just give them my background and how young I got started. And, they're not the only ones that's going through this process.
Okay, yeah. So like I said, you told me that you met Van Stone like last year, if I'm right.
Yep.
So after you met him, has he like done any lawn work for you or any work for you in like the inside or outside the house and like especially as like a neighbor, like the things that like he has done, like as in your perspective, like him like doing being a positive member, not just in like Philadelphia as a whole, but as like a neighbor and like around Walnut Street.
Man, he's very efficient in what he does. I tell you that. On time. I tell you if I'm not here, he'd just come through and do it. Cut my lawn. I told you, like I said, through his network, his contractors. You know what I mean. A partner of his came over, man, and put up. I mean, put a
I think he might be frozen. Yeah, I think he's frozen. The heck is going on with this thing? I'm gonna wait till it comes back. Okay, you can continue on with your question again, after that glitch.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, when I first met him, he was coming up and down the block. He tapped on the door. He just saw a couple of our lawns and he put it together. You know what I mean? And ever since then, we had just a talking relationship. We haven't had time to really do anything over the winter, and that's when I received my prosthetic. But I see what he do during the summer, man. He bring his grandson over. Like I said, he got a little contract tracking buddies. Anything I ask for, he's there to assist me. And anything I ask for, any way he can.
Okay, I was gonna like ask you some. Like, you told me you're not involved with Philly Funk Radio,
Mhm.
so I'm not gonna like ask you about them. But yeah, any final thoughts about Mr. Van Stone and like things you want to do with him in the future? And yeah.
Um, well, the greatest thing I'm gonna say about him is he's a great network. I mean, like I said, if it's something that he can't do, or I'm telling you, he won't leave you hanging. And I'm very interested in the things that he's doing. Everything that he's told me, we have yet to sit down and talk. But he mentioned this to me the other day when he did my lawn, and I've been waiting for this interview. Good person. Like I said, he always talking about his family. He always talking about change in the community, just us as men, what can we come out and do voluntarily? You know what I mean? It is not all about no money. It's just about the time and a little bit of patience, man. And as long as he keep going, man, he give me strength to keep going.
Okay. Thank you for this interview, and
All right.
end this recording.